Hello everybody, welcome to Short Shot Archery. Anthony here, and today we're going to talk about some cheating that's going on in field archery in the Barebow division, and this is during the unmarked distances in Barebow because this is where the cheating is most likely to occur in a way. Now, I'm not saying that there's a lot of cheating in archery or Barebow in general, but there is some issues that do come up every so often. So I think it's the responsibility of the archery community to identify these issues where people are abusing the rules and the system in order to fix them and then make the field of competition more level and fair, so that people that are actually talented at the sport and not just talented at manipulating the rules to their own advantage actually succeed in the sport, and then show the rest of the world, wow, look what these people can do with bows. So with that, I'm going to be talking about a post that went live a couple days ago. It looks like somewhere around September 20th. I know I'm recording this on the 22nd, so it's had some time to sit. There's been a lot of comments on this post. It's not my interest to really kind of name who's sharing these posts or the person that they're talking about. I'll have clips of the person just as examples, but it's not really my interest, or I feel like my place, to identify this particular individual, at least intentionally, because I think this is something that World Archery and just archery organizations as a whole need to crack down on, and it's not my job to straighten out individuals. I'm just talking about the overall policy and what's going on here, and not quite saying what we should be doing to this particular individual or individuals, because it does sound like there were some other people that were also bending the rules. So with that, what rule is being broken here? As you can see in the clips, this gentleman is using binoculars, and then he's actually looking at the binoculars and adjusting them and then checking again. So from my understanding and from reading the comments section, that's filled with a lot of very well-known and educated barebow shooters, along with other archers. The consensus from these people that are commenting on this is that he's actually using the binoculars to figure out how far away his target is, so then he knows where he needs to aim off and everything like that, so that he can be more accurate than the guy next to him who's not using binoculars. So with that, I'm going to cite two parts of the World Archery Rulebook under Barebow, and that's 22.3.9. I guess it's 0 because it's the first one, and then 22.3.9.1. And now, what do those two rulings, what do they mean? Well, I'm going to read them to you. So 22.3.9 refers to binoculars, scopes, and other visual aids for spotting arrows. Okay, so then we got to continue down to the next line. 22.3.9.1, provided they are not used for ranging or represent any obstruction to other athletes. So you should not be using binoculars or other scopes or other visual aids to figure out how far a target is away from you, or use them to block another archer. Alright, so he's not blocking another archer, but he's definitely using this to figure out the distance from where he's standing to the target he needs to shoot, because he's doing this at every single distance, or at least multiple distances across the course of this tournament. I don't know if it's every single one, but there is plenty of clips. We have a minute and 40 some odd seconds worth of this guy using binoculars during the tournament to figure out distances. So with those two rules that everybody's been citing, the overall determination from the community, and I really don't see anybody in this guy's favor. Everybody's saying, no, this is definitely a violation. A couple people have noted that it could be a strange gray area. But with that, I think we need to do something about that then. If there is some kind of gray area in the rules where this individual or other individuals cannot get in trouble or be told that, hey, this is inappropriate, this is going to be considered cheating if you continue to do this, and then you're going to get penalties for it, and get, I guess, ejected from the tournament. Then we need to make sure that the rules are worded correctly, and that the officials that are supposed to be reffing this tournament are on, they understand the rules and are on the same page as the archers, and the archers understand the rules. We need clarity here, but we also need action, I think, from World Archery and other archery governing bodies. I'm sure it's not just World Archery. This guy's probably doing it at his home ranges and things like that too. The same with others. And this needs to be straightened out, probably from the top down. But the smaller tournament venues too also need to keep the honesty and integrity thing. We need to keep that in line, because otherwise it's going to erode the quality of this sport and really what it has to offer. Because I feel like there is an unbelievable amount of honesty and trust. And yes, it's a tournament. There's definitely camaraderie and I want to be the best archer today. But there's also a lot of honesty and integrity and people helping each other to achieve goals. Some of them are just like trying to shoot a new personal best. Others are trying to podium at a tournament. Their first international, their first big tournament or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be international stuff. It can be local stuff. And I think we need to work on maintaining that, because if we let things like this happen, then it's going to erode the foundations to which archery as a whole is built upon. So now let's get into maybe some solutions towards this, ones that I've read on here, and maybe some that I've thought of on my own. Mostly everybody's on the same page. Some people are into the camp of punishing this guy. Yeah, sure. World Archery can take care of that. I'm not really here to be the full judge, jury, and executioner at this point. Maybe just the judge and the jury. I'm not here to execute. But I think two things that need to happen and two things that were discussed. Some people felt that maybe they should just straight out take out the unknown distances and just leave everything marked. 2 days of marked distances. I don't know. In a way, I feel like that's taking away from archery. We're like handicapping ourselves because some people can't play fairly. And I don't know. It's a real tough one for me. I know some people will probably cite, target archery got rid of 90. But people weren't cheating between 90 and 70. I feel this change here that people are suggesting is a change because people are trying to cheat, not something else. I feel like the 90-70 thing, moving from 90 meters only down to 70 meters, that's a different topic. So I'm going to push that aside and not bring that back up because I don't think they're related. But somebody may be trying to make a comparison, and there isn't, because this is regarding somebody cheating. Somebody breaking the rules or bending the rules, but very close to breaking them in order to, get a competitive advantage over their fellow archer that's not based on, you can have an advantage based on your own skill, how much you practice, how well you've tuned your equipment to you and the arrows and everything like that. That's a different kind. This guy's actually cheating. There's a difference. There's definitely a difference, and hopefully I am, explaining that and articulating that correctly. Or at least I'm doing my best. So for me, I think taking out unmarked distances just because some guys or a couple guys or people are cheating, I think that's unacceptable. I think we're better than that as the archery community, and I think we should go on to option 2. And option 2, a lot of people were suggesting, and this is going to be, I'm kind of making this one more generic, it's just banning binoculars and spotting scopes in general, at least for the archers shooting. Now, I haven't been to a field event, and I don't know exactly how one runs. I've watched the live videos and stuff from World Archery, so I have a pretty good idea, but I've never been there in person. But I feel like this would solve the issue for the most part. Obviously, it's got to be tested because people get creative, but at least it's limiting one more thing. If you totally take away binoculars and spotting scopes from the archers, that are shooting field at the unknown distances, then you don't have to worry about that. But just to once and for all this, so that you can clearly not be using them as a way to judge distance, just ban them outright. Now, some people did suggest, oh, we'll only offer ones that don't have an adjustable focus. I guess they have like a single focus binoculars and things like that. I really don't know a lot on that topic. It sounds like to me that's just too much for the judges and refs to handle. What do they have to do? Memorize all the binocular models and monocular, because I guess you can probably bring a binocular too. You got to memorize all those and know which ones have some people said some have like mid dots, so you can judge how far you are on either side of the dot, and then figure out your range from there. Like there's all these little like tricks and just dirty little moves you can do. I think it's just easier to just straight up ban binoculars for the archers. Obviously, people watching can go and I guess use them. I guess there's some viewership of that. I feel like there's definitely probably more people watching, live through the live stream than there is people like in person there watching. I don't know. I could be totally wrong on that. All right. So in conclusion, my idea on this so far, and of course, if anybody has any good suggestions, I would love to hear them in the comments section down below. But I think what we need to do probably is to ban binoculars just outright, totally. None at all, no spotting scopes, none of that for the actual archers shooting, and then see where it goes from there. Also, I think World Archery and other like national governing bodies really need to make sure they tighten up their rules to make sure that this doesn't happen, and make sure that their refs and judges are all well trained and well versed on this, and to make sure that when an archer is using these, hey, they have to go up, they have to tell these people, you can't be doing this, it's against the rules. No, we're not making an exception because you didn't know. No, it's your job as an archer to know the rules and what's going on here, especially since a lot of that stuff gets announced and then sent out through emails. It's kind of like, at this point in time, this day and age, you should probably know what the new rules are. And I know a lot of tournaments are really good at that, especially in the target side. I know there was a rule change for the one arrow shoot-offs, and every single tournament, every major USAT event in the US told us every single time. Of course, it was, they made a bigger deal at the beginning of the year and less of a deal at the end of the year because they figured we should kind of know by then. But, they made sure that we understood that there was a rule change. They had the rule change printed out so that you can read it. They told you where you could check it out if you wanted to check it out online. I think the same thing needs to be done for field archery regarding these, binoculars and people trying to range find with things that aren't range finders. And I think that'll solve the issue, along with just being vigilant. I'm sure archers in the community are more than willing to say something to somebody, especially if it's at like a local venue. I'm sure most people aren't trying to start a big commotion at like an international event, because you're just really just there to shoot and try to do the best you can and represent your country. You're not here to play the game of who's breaking what rule. No, that's the ref's job to take care of that, and I guess they just need to be further educated on that to make sure they understand, I guess, the limitations and the scope of the rules. I don't know, hopefully this sparks a good conversation overall. I know I may not be providing the best answer, but I really just want to start a dialogue with this topic, on this topic, and just see what everybody else in the community has to say, since I have some reach with this YouTube channel, and I have some really great people that watch this YouTube channel. So I would like to hear from them and see if there is another take on this that I may be missing. And if there is some good ones, maybe I'll have to do a follow-up video. I'm still trying to figure out how I should go about some of these videos I create, and if I should follow up on things or not. Sometimes one and done is better than just trying to drag something out, especially if it's not the most maybe productive for the community. I don't know. We'll see. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed and found this interesting. I found this topic very interesting to share with you. And as always, happy shooting.